Years pass. People disappear. People always disappear. The prairie keeps secrets. The desert buries evidence. Vultures clean what remains. I became careful. I never took people from towns, never local, only drifters. Man, nobody would miss. Sometimes I offer them a ride, or I shared a coffee. I listen to their stories. Ooh, most men are desperate to tell someone their story. That makes them easy. The preparation took practice. A sharp cleaver, a bone saw, hooks bolted beneath the wagon. The human body is surprisingly stubborn, even after death. Muscle twitch, fingers curl, jaws refuse to stay shut. I have seen severed hands grasp at dirt long after they were detached. Watch tendons pull limb into unnatural position as though the body was attempting to stand one final time. The worst part was always the smell. Ooh-wee! Not the blood, not the open flesh. The sweet, rotten odor that comes after. The smell of meat, forgetting it was once alive. You never truly get used to it. You simply stop caring. A few days ago, I arrived at a mining town called Whiskey Ridge. The miners bought every bowl of stew I had. One old woman kissed my cheek and called me a blessing. A little boy asked for a second helping. The sheriff tipped his hat and thanked me for feeding the town. Thank you kindly. By sundown, my supplies were running low, which meant it was time to restock. I left Whiskey Ridge before anyone noticed. The wagon cracked through miles of empty prairie. The sun sunk below the horizon, painting the sky blood red. Coyotes howled somewhere in the distance. Then I saw him, a lone traveler, walking beside the trail, young, strong, a bedroll over one shoulder, dust covering his boots. No horse, no company, no witnesses. Perfect. I smelled the wagon. Evening, I called. The young man turned and smiled. Evening, sir. His voice was tired, hungry. I knew the look. I seen it hundreds of times. You heading anywhere special? West, looking for work. Aren't we all? He laughed. Friendly, harmless, just an old man with a food wagon. Care for a ride? Much obliged. He climbed aboard and sat beside me. Up close, I could see the dirt caked beneath his fingernails, the scar along his jaw, the sunburn peeling from his neck. Healthy, though. Very healthy. We rode together beneath the growing darkness. I handed him a bowl of stew. He devoured it every bite. Best stew I ever tasted. Thank you kindly. What kind of meat is it? The same question I replied. Family recipe. He chuckled. Then he wiped his mouth and lay back. For a while, neither of us spoke. The wagon wheels rattled across the trail. The horse snored. Night settled over the prairie like a burial shroud. Eventually, the young man looked at me. You traveling alone? Always. Don't get lonely? I looked ahead at the empty trail disappearing into darkness, at the stars overhead, at the knife hidden beneath my seat. Not really. The young man nodded, then yawned. The powder I mixed into the stew was beginning to work. His eyelids grew heavy. His words slurred. You seem like a good man, Harlan. I smiled wider than before. That's mighty kind of you to say. His head dropped. The wagon continued rolling west, towards nowhere, towards someplace nobody would ever find. The young man blinked slowly, trying to stay awake, trying to understand, trying to fight it. His eyes met mine one last time. For the first time all evening, I spoke honestly. "You know," I said softly, "people always ask me what makes my stew taste so special." The young man's face tightened. Fear began to bloom, a terrible realization forming behind his eyes. I reached beneath the seat. The handle of the cleaver felt warm in my hand. The wagon rolled onward into darkness. "Truth is," I says, "you about to find out. The Perrys swallowed us whole. And by morning, another town will be hungry